Hey, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest release on Disciple Records, Barely Live and Virtual Riot Head-to-Head Volume 2. Continuing onto the second installment of the head-to-head concept, Barely Live and Virtual Riot are pitted against each other in a battle of variations in production. On paper, it sounds like an opportunity for both producers to flex their sound design, give otherwise old tracks a breath of fresh air, and to give a bit of a twist on pre-existing tracks. However, in reality, it seems to just be a way to pump out music faster, rather than it being put out on multiple releases over multiple dates. And a bit of fan service too. But I was still pleasantly surprised with the first volume, having two different VIPs on showcase from both producers, tracks I ended up enjoying and had been anticipating for months to even years up until the release. And now onto Volume 2, where we have another collection of VIPs from both producers. A couple of these people have been anticipating for years at this point. So here we go onto the first track, Virtual Riot Show Up, featuring Virus Syndicate VIP. Let's go. Huh, okay. So it sounds like the outro of the original mix was used for the beginning here. Okay, like the percussion here. Yeah, no, I don't like that vocal processing. Oh, okay, bit of a fake out here. Okay, no, I'm not noticing too much difference here from the original mix. So obviously people have already heard the first drop, which is played numerous times during Virtual Riot sets. So I'm hoping he does something a little different with his second drop, which is coming up here. So I'm pretty excited for that. So yeah, let's just keep listening. Okay, pretty much same as the original mix. Okay, second build up. What? You know, for the first time in such a long time, I'm actually disappointed in a Virtual Riot release. I don't know if it's my fault for personally hyping up the track leading up to release, but I mean, I don't know, this is super underwhelming. Overall, it just seems very lazy and rushed, especially in the intro with Virus Syndicate's vocals. There wasn't that much variation from the original mix. Basically just some vocal processing with just some samples thrown in. And then especially in the build-up as well, like that just felt super empty and sort of rushed. I mean, obviously the drop is the same. Drop is pretty good. I mean, it's all right. It's basically like the exact same progression as the original mix, but just with a stompier drum pattern. Instead of in the original mix with like this sort of slower beat, little to no variation in the midsection as well. I was expecting some kind of like second drop, but it was just, there was nothing. It was just completely like cut out of the song. It was just like the outro of the last song, but this time there was just a couple of Reese's thrown in. I really don't know what went wrong with this track, but just, I don't know, it's just super underwhelming, and I'm honestly just disappointed overall with this track. But onto the second track, Barely Live, Weeble Wobble, VIP. Okay, pretty much same as the original mix. Like the inclusion of this drum pattern. Nice switch up there. Okay, double drop. I'm hoping that there's something a little more different here. A little different. Still maintain the same vibe of the original track, had that same intro and melody, and I liked the subversion of expectations here with the build-up melody being completely different from the original mix. To me, I've noticed that Barely Alive VIPs are literally just sounds and samples from the original mix, basically just reorganized and reconfigured into basically a new sort of way. So they stay very true to the term of variation in production. It's pretty different from the original mix. Not too much new on Showcase there, except just a couple little newer sounds thrown in here and there. And then I went into the double drop, which had pretty little variation overall. And then yeah, pretty much just ended the track. But I mean, overall, it was just like the original mixes are fine on their own. It's just that with VIPs, it's mainly just like the main drop that like is the real difference on these tracks. And this track is a definite example of that. And I'm really disappointed that this is what we're left with these VIPs, because I feel like this would be a good opportunity for producers to take a bit of it, like a deeper dive and exploration with their previous tracks, and to sort of fully flesh out the ideas and try something a little different and give it a bit more of a twist. But the real reason that these VIPs are made is to subvert expectations during live shows, and in this case we ended up getting the full release of those songs. Honestly, nothing really too special here. And now onto the third track, which I've been waiting for a while now at this point, and I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high, only because this was one of the first newer tracks that had come out on Disciple at the time of me starting to listen to them. So I'm just going into this hoping that they've changed up some things here and there, but I'm not going to set my expectations too high. Alright, this is different. Oh wow, okay. I like this. That's a really nice synthwave intro by Barely Alive there. I love that. It's sort of like a fully fleshed out version of the sort of jab at like poppy EDM music at the beginning of the track. That's nice.
Going down.
Okay.
Going down. Going down.
Okay, I like the different approach here with the build-up. Oh, okay.
Basement. Going down. Going down.
So now we're getting some action.
Going down.
Going down.
Basement. What we're gonna do right here?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of meh on this.
Going down.
I don't know. Feels kind of sloppily put together. Okay, second build up.
Basement. Going down.
Oh. Oh wow, okay. Huh, I don't really know what to think about that one. I did like the intro. It was a bit more of like a fully fleshed out version of the playful jab at like sort of poppy EDM at that time, before descending down to the basement where it was just like dubstep and whatever. But this one had a bit more of a different approach. This one had a bit more of a traditional intro and kind of strayed away from that sort of pretty unique journey of like going down in an elevator and then you arrive at the drop. It did kind of stray away from that. I mean, drop is fine. It's basically, it's like I said before, it's basically the same sounds from the original mix, but just rearranged into a different configuration. Definitely sounds like Barely Alive had a bit more influence on this VIP. Although the double drop, I don't know, I might have to listen to it a couple more times, but just on initial listen, it just sounded very sloppily put together. I don't know what it is. I guess they were trying to like show off some sound design there, but I don't know, the execution was a little off. And then we get into the build up for the second drop, which I don't know what to think about that either, because it sounds like they've hopped on sort of like the future rhythm trend, and it sounded like they had sort of a bit more of like a color bassy kind of drop, like these lively, plucky bass sounds that you would expect to hear from like a color bass track. I don't know, to me personally, I don't feel like that fits the track at all, and like I said before, it kind of strays away from the original vibe of the track. I don't know, it's a really interesting VIP, and not in a good way either. Well, there is a silver lining with this final track that people have been waiting at least, I think, almost 4 years at this point, which is the Barely Alive and Astronaut Rivals Virtual Riot VIP. Oh, that brings me back. Ooh, okay, I like that. Alright, here we go into the build-up. Oh, okay. Well, we're just going into the second build-up. Okay, fake out. Oh! Alright, I'd say that that met my expectations and even exceeded it just a little bit with that second drop. Obviously you have that great melody from the original track by Barely Alive, and then build up and drop are the exact same as it's been for the past like 3 years at this point, having been played during numerous live sets. But yeah, I'm glad that there was not too many changes here, and it still maintained that same sound over the 3 years leading up to this point. And that's actually a good thing, which left a bit of room for experimentation with the second drop, which I was pleasantly surprised by. A bit of a goofy and predictable sort of fake out, but then you hit with like these sort of squelchy sounds that you weren't really expecting. Overall, there was a bit more variation to the first drop as well. Some new and interesting sounds from Virtual Riot. Overall, I'm a little disappointed in this EP, especially with that first Virtual Riot VIP. The Barely Alive VIP didn't have much to show. The Basement Dwellers VIP was a bit underwhelming, and it strayed away from the original idea that didn't match the vibe of the original. But there was a bit of a silver lining at the end with the Rivals VIP by Virtual Riot, which was a nice addition to have on this EP, considering that so many people have been awaiting the release of that track over the years. Pretty disappointed in this one, not gonna lie. And I'm just hoping that the future volumes of Head to Head and even the future releases on Disciple will be a lot better than this. But we'll just have to wait and see what comes in 2021. If you guys like the review, you can leave a like below. If you want to see more like this and other types of content from me, you can consider subscribing. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.